round. He has to pick up something for LGD. Only picked up one game for themselves so far, as we are into picks and bans between OMG and LGD, and immediately Kog'Maw is going to be banned out by OMG. They don't want Imp to have that, and they do not want Tran to get his Lee Sin.
Feel like LGD kind of know the other side of the jungle matchup pretty well here.
I think they've played, against or with this guy before. Sometimes. Maybe. They might know a thing or two about this Tran guy.
Well, I like the Twitch ban there as well, actually, from OMG, because that's been a champion that Imp is known for, and I think he can do a lot of heavy lifting on it. So we'll get that off the board for this go around.
They also showed the Ardent Sensor Lulu mid lane last time they played LGD. Wayless picked that up in the mid lane. It was an interesting pickup. We'll see if he goes back to it.
Well, there's Lysandra out for LGD. There's Gangplank banned away by OMG. And now LGD with only one ban left. 280 carry bans and a flex ban from OMG. We'll see what LGD wants to do with their final ban here, because by the looks of things, we're going to have a lot of picks open.
And I feel like SMLZ has to be willing to pick Kalista first here. Like, the fact that you ban Kog'Maw, ban Twitch, if you're not willing to pick Kalista, I just feel like the pick ban phase falls down a little bit. Unless he's got the sneaky Jhin, obviously.
Well, there's Gragas banned away, so Kalista is the most obvious pick. It's also good to take it away from Imp. I don't think that's going to be the first pick, Xiang, but I do admire your panache, as there is Kalista.
It makes a lot of sense to pick up Kalista as well, because it just enables 5 to be an even better engaging support.
I was just going to go, it makes sense to pick up Kalista because he's his best champions and you ban number 2 and 3. So if you're going to ban 2 and 3, you generally pick up number 1, right?
I still like the Kalista ulti giving 5 the ability to go backwards. Maybe not by choice.
You're ganged up by play casters here right now. Your opinion might be great, but you're outnumbered.
I just feel like my logic stands on its own, gentlemen.
I agree with you. It's Lulu and Italy were the picks there for LGD. So we'll see if you can get nice and aggressive with this pick. And Lulu, always a strong pick. We know Mara can play it. We've seen Wayless play it recently.
I don't want to see Wayless play it ever again.
So you're hoping Marin picks this one
I
up?
hope this is a top lane Lulu.
So what if
Acorn used to play it?
What if Marin builds Ardent Sensor? Is that done for LGD and Lulu?
Maybe.
No, Acorn's still on their bench. She's a very good Lulu player.
Well, there's Poppy and Thresh, so 5 going to stick to what he knows. Alistar was available, but decides to take the, I think, better lane support. And a very strong 2v2 already set up for OMG. I like the Poppy as well. Xiang does work on it. It's generally good against teams when they're trying to kill an 80 carry as well. And Imp is easily the player with the biggest target on his head. It's Tristana Braum's going to be the pickup here for them.
5 just seems like he's alternating between Thresh and Alistar. It even showed in his recent picks. And look at the most picked champions for the side of OMG as well. Thresh and Alistar are both in there. So, rotating that one around for 5. Braum and Tristana are going to be the 2 carries picked up by LGD. So they do have a hyper carry and a Lulu in the same team, along with a very, very strong support.
And this will be interesting. Cool's Twisted. Fate is being hovered right now. Very old school champion for OMG. Played the map incredibly well with it. And you feel that they do have a lot of catch potential down in the bottom lane with the Kalista Thresh combination. So I would like to see him go towards it. And it's also a big question mark for Wayless. Can you beat a Twisted Fate in lane? Something Wayless was very famous for against EDG. We'll see whether he can still do it.
Well, there's the talent hover again that LGD loves.
So the reason they love this hover, I like telling this story, is Wayless was having a good chat to Koro, and he was like, we're going to play you guys. And Koro was like, yeah, good luck, man. Like, really looking forward to the game. And Wayless was just like, I'm going to pick Talon and kill Pawn. And Koro just didn't write back. And then EDG obviously ran a train over the top of LGD, and Talon was not picked. So I've been waiting for it a very long time, Wayless. And it's still not going to be today. Not
yet, at least. It's Rek'Sai TF of those picks for OMG, so plenty of globals out for them. But they're looking at top laners by the looks of things here at LGD, which does mean the Wayless Lulu could be making a comeback.
They still have 10 seconds here. They do have the option to go for the flex pick instead, because they did pick up Lulu. Could be thrown into the top lane and grant Spawn his wish of not having Wayless play that champion. But they are going to give that one back to Wayless. It's going to be Marin on that Nautilus, and it's going to be Wayless, hopefully not with that Ardent Sensor in the mid lane on Lulu.
So the funniest thing is, and like everyone's going to be like, oh, Spawn, you're such a hypocrite. Next patch, I like Ardent Sensor with Kog'Maw because of the changes to his W giving him magic damage. Ardent Sensor also gives magic damage, so it makes a little bit more sense. On this patch, Ardent Sensor Lulu is not good.
I don't think so either. We'll see if Wayless corrects the item build perhaps from last week. But I think for me, the most curious thing looking from last week is that last time we saw OMG play, Icon was playing. And we talked about the break, giving teams a chance to, sort of revitalize and refresh. And these two teams have both had their break. But have they had enough time to integrate Cool back into the lineup? Because he's going to have to really put on a clinic today with TF.
Especially because OMG had just got on top of VG Gaming. They were looking to make that playoff run. A lot of pressure on Cool now stepping back into the lineup.
Well, you can see the team comps there. Poppy, Rek'Sai, Twisted Fate, Kalista, and Thresh there for OMG versus Nautilus, Nidalee, Lulu, Trist, and Braum. Feels like OMG just got comfort everywhere.
Certainly does, and we'll see whether they're able to get together a strong early game. You feel that's all they really need to do against LGD, who mid-late have struggled. A lot of pressure on Imp, Nidalee buff, as well as a Braum, and Lulu there to help out his Tristana. See whether he can get it done.
Certainly will. I wonder if it's enough help. I guess we're going to find out here. So we're going to get ourselves onto Summoner's Rift for our first game. Here we are for the opening of our second best of three as OMG can see if they can claim a match versus LGD. Both teams have had a brief reprieve, with IM Katowice being last week. We saw Xiaogu, a team that attended the event, just win their series 2-0. And OMG have certainly been on the rise. We'll see if they can take down a struggling LGD, especially given that Cool will be our biggest wildcard here. He's actually back in the mid lane on a signature pick.
He's back.
Cool's performance last season, I will say, was left wanting, especially for OMG fans, even at the start of this season. So he's had a break. He's had some time to recharge. We'll see if he's honed those skills during the time he's been away.
Especially because his substitute was performing so admirably. Icon was starting to turn heads in that mid lane. We'll see whether it's able to make work, as SMLZ hasn't bought an item. It's an interesting strategy. We'll see whether he's able to make it work for himself.
Farm 800 gold, go back and get a BF sword. That has to be what he's going for right now.
I mean, he has the Black Spear as well. So, wait, do you start with it? You do.
Yes,
okay, I was going to say he might have
Black Spear.
I was going to say he bought it, so he must not have missed the shot. But I have to assume it's intentional.
This Gromp's going to be really difficult.
He's not going to heal. SMLZ might have made a very, very critical mistake here.
And he's going into a 2v2 lane. So we're going to actually see how strong Kalista is in her base kit. Like the age-old question. People say her kit is very strong. Well, SMLZ seems to agree because he is that confident he hasn't taken items.
I can tell you he's looking for the scaling. He's looking to get that pickaxe or that BF sword as soon as possible. POL's laughing. He knows.
I think everyone knows at this point. Probably even SMLZ. 5 and SMLZ do hit level 2 first. They're going to start to get some pressure down.
Oh, that's what it is. It's the fervor. You don't need an item. You're scaling already with those continued autos.
That must be it. Xiang and Marin can have a tussle. Xiang, he's going to get the nice early trade. Marin, he's a Nautilus. He doesn't really have too much to worry about.
New is going to, once again, jungle on very low health. This is something that all Nidalee players do. They jungle on freakishly low health. He has got the smite, so he's going to be able to get back up there. He'll kite this one around. Go back for a completed recall afterwards. So don't you worry about him. They're still looking to be an aggressive in a lane where you have no items.
Probably
this
showing.
would really be insult to injury if they lose this game.
He does have 1,000 gold now, so has the opportunity to go back and pick up that pickaxe. If he stays for a little bit longer, that BF sword is just a little bit closer.
What does pickaxe build towards, Fish? You've mentioned it a couple of times. Now I'm really curious.
That's right. Kalista's not going to be picking that one up.
Yeah, so...
Rageblade, I've seen that on Kalista somewhere.
Oh, please.
Meanwhile, we are going to see Tren come down into the bottom lane. Marin is forced to flash away. Chiang going to put a little bit of damage back down.
Hey, Marin, remember me? Marin's like, no, who are you? Oh, yeah, you went on the team. Catch you later.
Well, it's probably not the last visit there, as Marin did burn that flash. So we'll see if the revisit is on the cards here. Speaking of, Cool's going to pop his way back into mid. Did put a ward out on his blue buff, I believe, but not looking too rusty here on the old Twisted Fate. Keeping up nicely against Wayless as the wave does come towards him. As SMLZ continues to show the power of Kalista. Still looking good with no items.
And they're still continuing to look to fight. I really do feel like this is just, if I will say it one more time, if OMG win this game, LGD are in a very bad spot. The fact that you can come to one of your lanes without items is beat a team.
And it's the one lane where you don't really want to do that.
Arguably the stronger lane for LGD as well.
No, strongest.
Like actual players-wise? Or?
Players-wise.
Yeah, okay, cool. I thought you were just calling Braum Tristana stronger than Kalista Thresh. I was ready to leave.
Player-wise. As you can see, still.
I was ready to leave when I saw SMLZ walk out of the base with
I'm
nothing.
just curious about what the first item's going to be. But we can talk at least about some early itemization. Cool has gone for a Sheen first, actually.
So I actually really like Sheen first on Twisted Fate right now. It gives you that cooldown reduction out of your build that he likes so much when he hits level 6, as well as some added damage. Cue it up with your stack deck, does good things. So, you know, I can see exactly where it's coming from. And Myron, once again, very greedy top laner, has used that teleport to get back into the bottom lane. See if he can start bullying around Xiang. Calls you in for some support. He wants to pick up some golems on his way.
And I like the Dark Seal there as well for a bit of extra potion help. It does have refillable also. But Xiang, of course, with the corrupting potion.
That's interesting.
Ooh. We'll see how it works out, I suppose. And Xiang is going to bat away these creeps into that bottom side. Does use the dash to make sure it secures that one. That's cool, level 5. Pretty quickly approaching level 6. See if he fancies leaving the lane and maybe looking for that top side.
Yeah, certainly would be the option, you know, get him even further ahead. He has 500 gold that everyone else on the map does not have because he didn't spend it. That's banking for you. It doesn't actually, League of Legends is not real life. You don't get interest if it's left in the bank. Although it would be an interesting game mode. And we'll see whether that is where Cool likes to go. Of course, they're a little bit weaker. Approximately a full Doran's Blade than you would expect your bottom lane to be at this stage of the game.
Full Doran's Blade and a potion, but they are heading back to base. SMLZ does have 2,200 gold. It is about 6 minutes into this game, relatively even. OMG
He doesn't even pick up lifesteal. He does not conform to your humanly rules.
Just straight up recurve bow and upgraded boots.
And this is just quintessential SMLZ.
Oh,
He has the most ambitious item builds of any AD carry I think I've ever seen play the game, particularly in the LPL. And that's why you look at the items and you're like, oh, he made a mistake. It's like, no. He knows. He knows the choices he's making.
Yeah, he's blowing my mind. I am. What is it?
Well, let's check in with him later, because his lane seems to be going quite well.
Kalistas have been confusing me lately. I've seen a Rage Blade Kalista. I've seen one not build an item, just go straight up recurve bow. I don't know what's going on anymore,
Gank
but
in the
this
mid lane.
is what's going to happen in the mid lane. Whaley, he's going to get knighted, has to flash away. As OMG send 3 people to put some pressure onto LGD's mid laner.
Yeah, you have to say double summoner spells used out of 5. Definitely the right decision to flash. Does not burn the ultimate. So Wayless is relatively healthy in this lane. Doing a good job, actually, up against Cool's Twisted Fate. Now we'll see whether the return gank comes in on the other side of Summoner's Rift.
PLL and you looking for something here are going to collapse the tunnel and try and do a bit of counter jungling. They find a Gromp, as SMLZ could be the target here. He's actually level 6 now. It's Cool. It's awfully low in that mid lane. Wayless able to poke him out. And he's going to force Cool back. Does have teleport though, so it should be just fine to get back safely if he needs to.
Yeah, it certainly will be. If he cancels this recall, very real chance of being dove. So we'll complete it, probably teleport back to that turret. There he goes. And Wayless, 11 CS up in this mid lane, doing a very good job. Forces out a Negatron, in fact.
Comes back to what we talked about before. It felt like this game was going to be the Korean Slayer going up against the Chinese mid laner, but now it's Cool. And so far, Wayless not faltering to the mid lane Twisted Fate, holding his own. In fact, a little bit ahead in that CS. If we take a look in the top lane, now that SMLZ has his items, still continuing that pressure, but albeit a little bit safer this time. You going for a little bit of a red buff taking. I thought he was counter jungling for a second. Realized that is LGD's side of the jungle, not taking away from anyone other than himself.
But has been able to keep up this time around on Italy, so much better performance so far against Chuen, who is on his tier 3 champion, you have to say, in Rek'Sai. They took Lee Sin and Gragas off him in the draft. You can see that Imp kind of feeling the same amount of love. In fact, he's probably on his 4th pick right now because they took away Twitch, took away Cogmore, picked away Callista, and left him with Lonely Tristana. You can see that they're starting to really bully this lane around.
Yeah, SMLZ is pretty curious early start to the game. Has at least netted them a CS lead here in the 2v2. The interesting item builds continue though, with Xiang and Marin are going to have a bout.
And Wayless is going to pick up a Stinger, I thought you were going to say.
That was where I was going. I mean, we have a Dark Sail on top lane Nautilus as well, so there's plenty of stuff going on right now. Not Ardent Sensor, thankfully, but...
Oh, you don't know that yet.
This is Stinger into Ardent Sensor's special, and Magi's Nautilus.
And actually, no, so now you mentioned that, that's actually where I was going to go. You said it jokingly. Attack speed, magic damage from the Nash's Tooth. You put a shield on yourself with Ardent Sensor, it gives you 30 extra bonus damage every single time.
Well, we've got no time for that as OMG. They're going to try and tower dive this top lane. They're sending all 5 members up there. They want to try and take down LGD's bottom lane duo. They will, and they're probably going to get a tower after that as well.
And it depends how much they get after that. You know, they can push through if they so choose. Chuen also going to be able to get back towards that mid lane with one of his Rek'Sai tunnels. So not even a turret response in return for LGD, and early game not looking good one more time.
And I just love it. OMG never changed. 5 people into the top lane just in case. As even Xiang committed a teleport. He will get the tower gold as well as SMLZ is going to go down to the bottom side of the map now with a fresh Bilgewater Cutlass. OMG with the early aggression make a big play and come out about 2,500 gold up.
Yeah, and it was a really good play. Their lanes were already naturally winning, especially that bottom lane that was Xiang versus Marin. So the teleport works out very, very nicely. They now swap the lanes back into the bottom side of the map, where there's a huge advantage right now for SMLZ. 20 creeps, he's got a kill, he's got an assist, as well as that turret gold. Imp can't do anything down here.
He's got the Bilgewater Cutlass too, so he does have the extra trade potential if Imp and PYL try to fight him. And he does have the really, really strong lane, and with 5 on that engaging support, poses a threat at this LGD bottom lane, despite the fact that they are Imp and PYL, the hyped up bottom lane duo for LGD. They do have the hyper-scaling team comp here with the Lulu, with the Nidalee to buff up Tristana even more and also dive in on her own. So we are going to take a look at that player. Yu, who has just been farming for majority of this game, hasn't put too many ganks out just yet. But as a Nidalee, that's kind of what you really want to be doing in this jungle.
There's 2 ways. Nidalee's like Graves, right? You can either farm super heavy or you can gank super heavy. Going for a farming route, Rek'Sai does farm incredibly well, especially if you go with a warrior enchant, as Chuen has in this game. So, you know, he's chosen the right thing. It's just that big 5-man gank definitely went OMG's way.
Well, that exchange did as well, because Chuen, I believe, did pick up the Raptor there. SMLZ in 5, though, continuing to clear things out. Blade of the Ruined King is going to be online very quickly for this Callista, and a Spirit Visage already for Xiang. Can make Marin's life a little tricky. He's got a long lane to try and farm safely from.
500.
Everyone down into the bottom lane. This is going to be a 4-man gank here. We'll see whether they're able to survive it.
Let's see if they can do that. Immediately, 5 is going to flash away. SMLZ takes the Lantern to safety, so they blow 1 summoner spell to get back. LGD will probably be able to take that turret, but OMG have 2 men in the mid lane pushing for the middle turret.
And they're not even going to get the turret in the bottom lane. They didn't do enough damage to it. In the end, they can't stick around because... Oh, teleport actually burnt. This is weird.
Yeah, Marin. Sean's are going to get his way out. Xiang stayed top as Marin TP'd in to try and make a play mid. And LGD, again, just feel so scattered around the map. They lost everything and got nothing.
I now completely agree with Spawn. OMG are not slowly getting better. They have massively improved, and they just look great.
You are so glass half full. I love you, Fish. You are a very positive fellow. That was bizarre, and now a teleport.
Oh, that hook was sick. Imp in trouble. Good Fate's called a combo in, and cool. Swoops in for the first kill. Pilwell's going to die to the Ren for the second.
So this is another good example. Flash first, jump after. Flash cannot be interrupted. It is impossible to stop a flash. Jump Tristana actually keeps you at the starting point. You can be flayed out of it. You can be hooked out of it. He gets greedy, uses the rocket jump, made pay. Another double kill for LGD, for OMG. And LGD... The week didn't do much for them. They still look Very sloppy.
All the way down to summoner spell usage. This match looks like chalk and cheese. 5 burnt his flash immediately when he saw LGD try to gank him bottom lane with 4 men. Like you said, Imp not prioritizing that flash, but cool, he might be in a little bit of trouble as Yu's going to jump on him and it's Needly. Wayless was able to get the knock off with his ultimate, but Yu, he may go down in return, gets the heal off at the last second. Tren is not able to get that final attack off to take down the Needly.
Yeah, so in the end, a shield will save him. You will go back to base. First kill picked up for LGD. They're still 4,500 gold behind at 14 minutes. So that's where the good news ends. See how much ahead SMLZ is over Imp right now. It is 20 CS, a couple of kills and assists, as well as those turrets. And Trent comes back into the mid lane, making sure that Wayless cannot take this down, although he will get it eventually.
Yeah. Slow and steady here for Wayless with that stinger, but not quite enough
Rotation
autos.
out of Xiong is actually going to deter him. And you can see that time and time again, OMG is just that step ahead.
Yeah, and it just feels like, again, they're playing the same proactive, aggressive 5-man league that they were always known for. Twisted Fate, you mentioned one, it's a classic pick for Cool for a reason. Because they just do so much work around the map with it. OMG are very much a snowball-dependent team. Feels like Cool, at least on a signature pick for him, fitting right back into the lineup.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that way. Very good first gank that came out in the top lane. It really set the tone for this game. LGD always been playing from the back foot. Looks like maybe a Zarok portal going to be started off for Myron here, as Nash's Tooth is finished by Wayless. Starting to hit his mid-game stride. It's only an Ardent Sensor away from being the coolest on-hit build ever.
Unfortunately, that's not really going to help Imp and the whole hyper carry situation, because those shields are going to be pretty tiny.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it isn't about that, man. Sometimes Lulu just has to take the game in her own control.
If you can't help the hyper carry, become one yourself. Get all that attack speed.
He's the hyper carry LGD deserves.
Yep,
So
the Dark
is
Knight of
Imp the
hyper
one they
carries.
need?
Yeah.
Well, OMG continuing the aggression here. Cool with a gold card locked. Was looking to use the Destiny, level 11, so pretty good ulti available right now, but... Ooh,
Here we go one more time. Nash's Tooth is in there.
No.
Getting those
Not
attacks
enough
down.
damage, but Cool actually has to keep cutting around. Does not have his flash. He's going to fall down to Wayless, as now Schwan could be the second victim. He is!
And laugh all you want, pastry time. Nash's Tooth Lulu. 3-0 and 0 on Summoner's Rift right now. Will be able to take down the mid lane turret. And LGD surging back into this game.
Wayless feels like he was going to fight the Korean Slayer today. I get to fight Cool. Well, might as well become the Slayer myself. Nash's Tooth doing work in that small skirmish, but Xiang wants a piece of this Lulu. Finally, that middle lane turret will go down in favor of LGD, their first turret of the game. But look at this, 5 and SMLZ just delete Brob. They're going to throw the Thresh at the Needle, who is in human form, can't pounce out. But look at this, MLZ has his back against the wall, will get the final spear off to get the double kill against the Needle. Xiang is still trying to chase down Wayless. Has the Whimsy available, will be able to get out of here. Hoppy's still looking for this one. 5's still looking for a hook as well, but they're just too far away.
Yeah, so in the end, they are able to pick up a couple of kills in response to what was a dragon for LGD. Bottom lane turret will also go down. So, very big profit for OMG after what was maybe the first fumble of the game as they were caught out in the mid lane. Will be about 5,000 gold one more time at about 17 minutes in. And it's going to be a Lich burn.
Okay, so really big carry Lulu build. Wayless, we talk about LGD, you know, they feel like they want to find where their power points are.
Do you know it's his Diana build?
Yes! He's not playing Diana. I feel like he tricked his team. He's like, guys, give me Lulu.
He must.
Because he's like, give me Diana. They're like, no. And they're like, give me Lulu. It's like, okay, you can have Lulu. It's like, got you. Built the same item.
He must have had some major retreat or some major boot camp after he built that Ardent Sensor, completely going 180. Now he's the carry Lulu. What's going on?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure we'll find out today, but we'll at least try.
Well, he's up 30 CS.
Yeah, look.
And 2 kills. So, as far as it goes, it's working.
Well, working so far. Xiang is trying to work on that Zrot portal, but Marin is going to deny that.
Nah, get away from me.
Pretty effective there. Xiang.
Super Rhino.
Actually, he has Bandit. He's actually collecting gold from them. I think. Yeah. Oh, no.
You get one every time they
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
that's what I thought. Adorable. Synergy. As he's going to take out that bottom outer turret as well. LGD starting to get some objectives back into this game and shorten that gold lead, but Schwan is lurking. Does get some good vision down with that Tremor Sense. Feels like OMG, they always get a little antsy when they haven't made a proactive play in a while, so I feel like they're due to get aggressive. LGD, they've done a decent job slowing things down.
Slow it down they have. 18 minutes into this game. But look at this. OMG, they're not going to take any of this slow play. Marin now going to get caught out by 3 people. Pops the ultimate to try and knock her. But Seong flushes forward aggressively. Cool will casually pick up another stun card. They get another pick onto LGD. That's their 7th kill.
Yeah, it certainly is. So they burn a lot in the top lane. Mid lane is going to be wide open, however. That is a lot of damage on Tristana. Lulu to help knock this one down. Teleport coming in on the back end. It looks like OMG want to fight.
Yep, they do have to fight to try and protect it. 5 looking for a box, finds Wayless, who's going to pop the wild growth on himself. Schwan trying to CC them up there as SMLZ's taking an awful lot of damage, but Xiang does move in for the assassination. Tristana's dead to the TF. Nidalee does slay Rek'Sai on the back end, but that's a 5-for-1 team fight win going OMG's
and
way.
like a house of cards, it all comes crashing down one more time for LGD. They overstay, they get greedy. Good teleport collapse. Don't respect the rotations coming out of this OMG lineup. 5 is able to get everyone in that play. He even got Imp one more time in the rocket jump. And it just means that LGD cannot get away quick enough. They give over multiple kills, and now the mid lane tier 2 turret.
5 is an absolute monster on his engaging supports. He played that fight brilliantly once again. And OMG, now 11-4 in kills. 6,000 gold ahead of LGD 20 minutes into this game. LGD, I mean, they've been falling apart since the start of the season, maybe even a bit before that, but it's just not looking any better after the break from IEM.
Certainly is not. Time does not seem to be the cure of this wound right now. Imp will be able to pick himself up another red buff, so that is good in their favor. Also a big creep wave in the top lane, but he is... Wow. Like an item and a half at this point, down 6-0-3 to 0-3-1. That is not the hyper carry you are looking for.
No, and OMG just making that Tristana power trough even worse as they're continuing to play nice proactive League of Legends. Cool, you can see he's got the Lich Bane now and the Needlessly Large Rod plus some CDR boots, so he is just doing so much work at this stage of the game. Xiang continuing to get tankier. SMLZ just building whatever he wants at this point. He's got a Hex Drinker, a longsword and a BF sword after the Hurricane and the Blade of the Ruined King. It's just a massive goldie here for OMG, and as we've seen in previous games from them, even with Cool being back on the lineup, when the snowball starts rolling, it usually does not stop.
And when you're against a Nautilus, a Braum, and a Lulu, and you don't have to prioritize QSS because you are that confident that you're ahead, that you're going to go for your Bloodthirster, just speaks volumes to how confident SMLZ is right now in his team. It's because they're always going forward. He never has to use those items defensively, so why not just heap on the damage? Imp finally does have 2 items, so we'll see if that is a turning point in this game. Although it's you that is picking up a lot of the gold right now.
It did look like an almost shaky start from SMLZ as well. Not picking up any items at the start of the game, but has worked out for him. 6-0-3, has an 0-9 support on 5-2. 2 lockets being picked up by their team, 1 on Tren and 1 on 5. And there's the man himself. Used to be on LGD, now getting a little bit of revenge, so to speak. Or payback from the time he used to be on the team. But Tren now taking a little bit of damage from this attack speed. Lulu, here comes Twisted Fate. Cool does get the stun down. 5 will land the hook, but that's a teleport that will come in from Marin into the bottom lane. We'll stop that engage.
Yeah, and no one's there to collapse in time, so in the end, it's just a teleport burnt for nothing. Is able to save his mid laner, but you have to think that Wayless probably was out of that situation already, and just nothing gained across the map for LGD. Meanwhile, OMG continue to grow this lead. It doesn't get any easier. They scale pretty well into the late game, and PYL's caught.
Yeah, they found him there. They are going to collapse onto it. Cool's going to make the ulti from Nautilus, but PYL already going to go down. Yu dives into the middle of the team, trying to make something happen, but Cool's going to shut that down instantly as 5 now can look for a hook. Does not land one onto Wayless as Xiang gets creative with a dash there to try and pick up a 3rd, but OMG will take 2 clean kills.
Yeah, you can dash into a creep. It takes you a little bit further. Use your ulti as a knock-up, then the rest of your team catches up. He was just looking for another pick. In the end, they will turn their eyes towards Baron. LGD have to fight because it's a Callista. And honestly, at a 6,000 gold deficit with 2 members dead, this is not a great fight to take, but they have to do it anyway.
And they're looking to try and fight this one. They don't even have you to get the smite off, but look at this. Immediately, OMG going to try and turn. Marin has to flash out. Wow, LGD actually come out on top and force OMG to get off the Baron.
Yeah, so they stop the Baron. Top lane turret will go down to the Zrot portal that have been placed in that lane. So a little bit of reprieve for LGD, and maybe this is the last thing that they can do. You know, we always talk about it. Their macro play has always been pretty good. Just try and get the lanes pushing in your favor. Move them around the map with this Rock Portal. Get yourself a banner of command. Do the same thing. Hopefully Cool can't handle that. And try and grow any form of advantage, because right now in a 5v5 team fight, OMG will rip them apart.
And this is going to take a while for Xiong to get done. In fact, he meets the Mending Wave first because he decides, wants to get some farm over prioritizing, I think, 15 gold, 25 gold that the portal gives you when you kill it.
Yeah, 15. It is not enough reward.
What is it? It's like a blue trinket?
Yeah.
Like a really big blue trinket. Xiong, he might even give up at this point. I don't think he's having too much fun. Probably doesn't do that much damage, especially to a portal. But
it's 25.
It is 25.
Wait.
Okay, totally worth it.
Was Xiong letting the Zerat portal hold the wave up?
Stack it up a little bit. Yeah, it looked like it.
It looked like he was intentionally letting the minion wave get stronger and stronger.
Portal mechanics, love it. As SMLZ has got the Maw of Malmortius completed. He'll hop his way down to that bottom side and continue clearing out waves. As Wayless, no Lich Bane yet. He has kind of the components, but he decided on the Abyssal Scepter Audible. So he's got that completed now, which is just fine there on the Lulu. And Rotovate is also done for you. Things could be looking up for LGD, but they are still very far behind in this game. 6,500 gold down with OMG, starting to mount some pressure again.
Yeah, certainly are. And you can see that right now, really all LGD have is waves. Like, try and manipulate them around the map. Try and get any form of advantage. As Imp hops over that wall with the cutest W ever. Looked like he rolled on the ground and appeared on the other side, but I don't question it. And really, once this game gets to 4 items for Imp, everything's back to an even playing field, because it's still Tristana with a Lulu. Problem is that SMLZ is going to beat him there by 2 items. So he needs to just hold on for dear life and hope that they get to 40 minutes into this game, because otherwise things will not be going in their favor.
And 15 minutes away from reaching that goal, but it is 25 minutes into the match. 13-4 on the scoreboard. OMG with that 6,000 gold lead are looking to try and take even more objectives, that they do have 3 members grouped up in this bottom lane, looking for the inner turret, which they will be able to take down with ease. LGD not even go close to that tower to try and defend it from being taken down by the freight train that OMG are throwing at LGD right now.
And it certainly is a freight train here for OMG. The players never changed. As Dragon not up yet. Baron's still there, but Cool with the TP is able to do some split pushing. So it seems like OMG are going to spread themselves out, try and pressure multiple lanes. They only have one tier 2 to deal with. That's in the middle lane, no, top lane, excuse me. As you can see, Xiong's going to start some pressure here, and eventually LGD will run out of...
actually just burnt the teleport to get towards the top side of the map. Maybe he was looking for a pick, but in the end, we'll just use it to shove out that wave. And you can see that Wayless, he's actually ahead, but he's been called off 2 creep waves. Imp's taken this one. Myron took the last one. So Wayless, the one member that is technically ahead of his lane opponent, is just time and time again being forced back.
Oh,
He
he
found
got
him.
him. Cool's dead, I think. Yep, cleanse out. Auto attacks, we got it. Lantern not there in time.
And this build is
damage.
like a weird kind of genius. Like, this is, like, I understand cooldown reduction. I understand the on-hit. Lulu does a lot of attack speed damage with picks on herself. And he's just able to get it done, with Lich Bane. If he goes towards a death cap and avoid stuff, I'll say this is a legitimate build.
Well,
Not another sensor though?
No.
that one's not allowed. As LGD, again, still scaling. I agree with you. If Wayless can become another legitimate threat instead of just a utility champion, he can take over the game with Lulu if Imp is also there as well.
And he's 4-1-1 and 50 CS up in a 7,000 gold deficit game. That's impressive. So hats off to Wayless. He is performing this time around.
And isn't that scary? A performing Wayless is usually the sign that LG are starting to return to some form of life. It'll take more than that. But in this game in particular, it would be quite a feat if Wayless could get his team back over the deficit that they're currently in.
And 0-8 bottom lane out of LGD. Imp and PYL were bullied early on in this game by a very, very strong lane assignment. Going actually towards the last Whisper item, trying to deal with some of the armor that's coming out of the carries. Is cost efficient, so I like what Imp is going for. As I said, if he can just get 4 items, the game looks different, but it's such a long way away.
Well, he has 3 now, well, 2.5 technically, until he upgrades that last Whisper. But on the flip side of the bottom lane duo, SMLZ, he's 6-0-4, 320 farm. Has his Bloodthirster, Blade of the Ruined King, Hurricane, Maw of Malmortius. He's 1 item away from a complete build. on this Kalista. And 5, he's doing just as good. He has 11 assists, but look at this. Tusaface coming to the top lane. They're trying to take down Yu. He gets the Lulu ultimate. Look at that from 5. Flashes forward, gets a fantastic hook onto the Lulu as well. They get 2 kills for that. Young now, he's going to get caught out by PYL and Imp. But OMG, they're going to be able to collapse and help him out. They're looking for the Baron pickup.
Yeah, the problem is how much can you really catch a Lulu? We're about to find out. Tristan, Poppy. We're about to find out.
Yordles, man.
Yordles everywhere.
Well, we are going to start a fight for this Baron. LGD going to try and stop it. I think OMG committed to try and get it as Imp's going to get jumped on. Cool going to move in, does find the stun. The Baron goes over to OMG as well, and it's just carnage now. Marin going to get himself knocked up. PYL gets smacked into the side of a ridge. This is going to be OMG cleaning house as they get the 5 kills and the Baron.
Yeah, clean ace. Baron buff goes across. Who cares who the Yordle is in the top lane? OMG. 11,000 gold up as we take another look. It was Poppy, and she's incredibly tanky pastry time. Able to just weather the damage. They try and commit on this fight. And, you know, once again, it's just all about the OMG lineup. The re-engage onto Imp means he can't jump out anyway. Xiang cleans him up on the backside with Cool. They run over the rest of the team, and now they're pushing into the base.
They are pushing into the base using that Baron buff, but what a fight coming in from OMG. They do get the inhibitor turret, not able to take down that inhibitor. They are working on the inner turret on the top lane. They got a little bit of damage on the bot lane inhibitor turret as well. But with that, they are now over 10,000 gold ahead of LGD. 13,000 gold if my math is correct here. And that's a huge lead for 30 minutes into the game. I don't even think the 40-minute mark would be able to save LGD anymore if this is the rate that OMG are going to pick up a snowball lead.
Well, the thing is, right, eventually gold does become irrelevant. So, like, whether it's 40 minutes, whether it's 45 minutes, LGD, now that an inhibitor is going to, will be knocked down eventually, is going to have creeps forced into their base. They're going to be able to farm up, and eventually items will even out. It's about where they're standing mentally at that stage of the game. OMG have to close out quickly because, once again, this is a protect the Tristana comp that will ramp up into the later stages. It's about whether it ever gets to that late stage of the game.
Well, items have to even out some way or another here because Imp, he's still sitting on 3 items. Finally upgraded his last Whisper. But if you look at the other side of the table, SMLZ, he now has that QSS, the item that you said he wasn't going to pick up early. He didn't and was just battering through the rest of LGD. Didn't need to use that cleanse. Now finally going for that defensive item. He's close to completing his 6-item build.
Yeah, and it's triple lifesteal as well. Like, you cannot stress how hard it is to kill this Kalista because if she cleanses off one of the stumps and continues to hop through, there's just no way you ever can deal with her. And you see that Yu just does not do damage right now, and LGD have no way to kick him out of the base.
Yeah, OMG are also going to try and start this siege up. Cool's back down bottom side with the blue buffs that he just stole. OMG going to apply pressure here to this middle section of the map. The box up there from 5. I think trying to buy a bit of time. Maybe a misclick, but Cool's melting this turret in the bottom side, and it's going to go down.
I was going to give 5 MVP there, but that box play just ruined it.
No, so he went for the hook play combo into it. Missed the hook just by a little bit, but I like the confidence because, you know, he's hit everything so far as they start off the fight.
They are going to start off the fight here. Poppy uses the ultimate, not able to connect with everyone. OMG still looking to be rather aggressive after kiting backwards slightly. They will be able to get the inhibitor turret slowly. Mara now looking for the engage. The ultimate will come out from Brom. SMLZ will pull 5 backwards. OMG have now grouped up as 5 as they're going to try and take down Mara and force a lot of spears to be put into the front line tank, but they get Imp, who was carelessly in the front lines. Now it's Mara that goes down. OMG are just going to clean up the rest of LGD's lineup. That's 4 kills going on over to OMG. They're looking at the base. OMG are looking to pick up game number 1.
Yeah, and they certainly will be able to. 4 for nothing. Wayless preserves some of that KDA. He's going to sit on top of the fountain. Really the only member that performed game 1 for LGD, and OMG, with Cool in the lineup, continue to roll through the LPL.
Yep, no Assassin to like him, but Twisted Fate, a Cool classic, is going to give them the victory there. Seems like the story's still the same. Change the lineup however you want. OMG is still going to play the same way. It is good to see Cool back. And unfortunately for LGD, this feels like Highlander League of Legends. There can only be one good player in any LGD game at one time.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be that case, and I just, OMG style League of Legends. Get 5 people into that top lane. I like the fact that you said through a freight train, not drove it, because when you drive a freight train, there's a small risk that you hit something really, really hard and then, like, it hurts you in response. If you throw it, there's absolutely nothing that can go wrong. I mean, you just pick it up, throw it. It's a freight train. It's going to do damage no matter what it hits. And because you're not in the train anymore, Fish, you can't get hurt.
It does take an awful lot of arm strength, though, I think,